this episode of the Note Closer Show. As always, I'm your host, Scott Carson. Excited to be here today. It is Friday here in the office, trying to figure out what I did with my cup of coffee. There it is. Hopefully, you guys are doing having a great week, rocking and rolling along here. I know we've been extremely busy here since I got back from the cruise on Tuesday night. Finally feeling a little bit normal, like my sleeping habits are back to normal, and we're getting caught up on all the work and stuff like that. But today's topic, I wanted to talk a little bit more about here on the podcast about something that's coming up in just over 2 weeks. We're literally 2 weeks out from it. So if you're listening to this on iTunes, it's about a week out probably. And if you're watching this, you want to mark your calendars for a very important day. All right. Saturday, June 30th is National Social Media Day. Now, why am I talking about that when this is a Note podcast? Well, I will tell you this. It's important because of the fact that everything is in marketing these days. Everything is all based on marketing. Whether you like it or not, it is what it is. If you're going to be successful at something, you have to realize, hey, it all starts with the marketing. You could have the greatest product, you could give the greatest idea, but if you don't know how to market or how to use marketing to move that product or get the word out on whatever your product or service or event or whatever it is, you're failing. And so we're excited to be a part of this. It's been around for a while. There have been cities that have been celebrating Social Media Day for years. I think it started in Seattle a few years back. Our good friend Christy Whites knows is better about the history of that. But last year, Christy and Elijah Whites went to the city of Austin here and was able to get the mayor to declare June 30th, which was a Friday last year, as National Social Media Day. And we were excited to be a part of that inaugural event as one of the speakers. It's also one of the sponsors for the event. And it was a great live stream event from the Offices of Digital Marketer here in Austin. I think it was about 80,000 views on the live stream. We got some great feedback from people, some great people opting into things and starting to follow us along. We actually got a few new students that are because of that. But the best thing about it was just getting the word out on what's going on. And there's just so many things that people are doing online these days through their social media, through their marketing to drive business. And so I was excited to be a part of it last year, and even more so when I started thinking about what we wanted to do with the next evolution, because Christy and Elijah were the main force behind driving that last year, that I got with Christy earlier this year and said, hey, let's do something. Let's make this bigger. Let's make it bigger and better. And actually, I have to think, you guys that watch TV, good morning, Laura Blunt. Good to see you guys. Good to see those that are out there watching. I get this great inspiration while watching House of Cards. Now, if you remember in House of Cards, there's the episode where I can't remember what the guy's name is. The governor, the one young governor, is running against the president in the election, running against in election, and the governor decides to host a 24-hour live stream Q&A session, just a pure Q&A station, taking questions, talking to people and stuff like that. It's like, wow, how cool would that be to do something like that for an event? I was like, I couldn't really do that for note investing. That's be a little bit tough. What's something that's a little more generic? I was like, National Social Media Day. So I immediately called Christy. She liked the idea. So we threw it on the calendar because it's National Social Media Day now. We're doing it versus just Social Media Day Austin. There are cities celebrating it all across the country. All you got to do is like a National Social Media Day. You see LA and Istanbul and Greece and all these other areas that are celebrating it. And so we decided, hey, well, let's do this from midnight on the East Coast, since it's National Social Media Day, midnight New York time, which is 11 o'clock Central, and run that all the way through midnight on Pacific Coast time. Now, we didn't want to go all the way to Alaska. Didn't want to go all the way to Hawaii. That's a little bit craziness. But we decided we'll do 27 hours from the mainland. And yes, we kick off at midnight, 11 p.m. midnight Eastern Standard Time on Saturday morning, early butt crack of dawn. It's more the witching hour, I should say. Kick it off there and run it all day long, 27 hours, guest speakers. Roughly, we're breaking it down. We'll have basically 54 spots. of either stuff we got to fill in with intro, outros, live streaming all through Facebook, and seeing if I think we can hit 500,000 views, if not more so, especially with some of the guests that we'll have on there. We're reaching out to some of the finalize some of the things. We did reach out to Gary Vaynerchuk and his team. He is having a family reunion that weekend, and he was already as an expensive speaker, but his $100,000 price tag roughly to show up on a webinar, speak for an hour, it was a little outside our budget for the thing. So going to do some cool stuff on it. We're bringing in people from all across the country, social media experts, platform experts, vendors. People are doing great stuff. And so we're really excited about that. Yeah, we're 2 weeks out. We haven't really marketed that much. Doesn't really make sense to way ahead of time. Most people do stuff in the final 2 weeks. Plus, I was on vacation, and Christy's been busy as well. Her and Elijah have been doing great stuff as well, and looking forward to catching up with them this weekend. But I thought it important enough to dedicate this episode of the Note Closers Show to National Social Media Day, because there are a lot of people doing things. The premise of it is at least doing something to celebrate it. Okay, it's not 4th of July. I know it's a week out or 4 days away from 4th of July with National Social Media Day. I know it's on a Saturday. People like to sleep in. Friday, last year we ran it from roughly 2 o'clock in the afternoon to 5 o'clock in the evening, or 6 o'clock, or maybe it was noon to 5. And there was a big party at Digital Marketing Headquarters. It was great. I think I got Christy and Elijah convinced that we don't need to have that much overhead. We can do this much more efficient and effective for the cost of basically some good internet for a few hours. So we're pretty stoked about that. Just absolutely excited about what's going on with that. I would love to hear some of the things that you would love for us to cover, because we're deciding, finalizing the schedule. It's going to be a mixture of guest speakers. It's going to be a mixture of some content as well, effective tools, tricks, things that we are using, or things that we see people using or our guests are using on a regular basis to share their big things that they're winning on. All right. Their big actions, whether it's Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn, Snapchat, podcasts. There's a whole variety of different things that we are excited to be seeing, and can't wait to share out there. So National Social Media Day, that's what we're talking about here. I want to give a big shout out to those on Instagram that are watching this morning. Good morning, everybody. Hey, Nate Jurowitz, good to see you, buddy. Down in Florida. Hey, Mike Rusick from Philadelphia. Hey, George Crocker out in Atlanta. And then we've also got our people on Facebook that are joining us as well here. But really excited about National Social Media Day. It's 2 weeks out. We've got some spots available if a few people are interested in speaking who are social media experts. If you've got 100 people on your following, that's not really an expertise area. But we do have a few spots. Just put it out there. We'll have a few spots available for things, but otherwise, 27 hours straight. Yes, 27 hours straight, Saturday, June 30th, from midnight East Coast to midnight Pacific Coast time. It's going to be a 27-hour live stream to really knock it out of the park and share some great information. So I'll give you a little bit of rundown. I was very fortunate enough to have somebody kind of mentor me a little bit for a few years while I was working with some people I originally learned note business from, a guy by the name of Roland Frazier, who's now one of the big principals over at Digital Marketer. Just does an amazing job, amazing marketer, amazing individual, one of the brightest and smartest people in the world, I would say this, when it comes to marketing and getting things done. So I was fortunate enough to learn a lot from him, and I've also learned a lot of my own by going out and knocking out of the park and just literally failing forward, embracing that I was going to suck on things at first. And it's led over the last 13 years to where we're at today. I think I'm one of the experts in my space. I would say one of the key foremost experts. I know we do a great job of marketing in the note space, really, than anybody else does, and really probably in the real estate community more than anybody else does. But the thing to keep in mind is that we have had plenty of time to work through and hone our craft and get better at what we do on a regular basis. Okay. And so one of the things what I would like to do with this episode besides talking about National Social Media Day. And you can go to National Social Media Day as well. We have a Facebook page, and I'll post that in the comments here on Facebook for everybody out there. We want you to go to National Social Media Day. We want you to go there and check out the website or the Facebook page anyway. We've got a website up. I'm really stoked that some of our friends are going to be on there. We've got some social media experts going to be there. Sebastian Rusk from Miami has talked about being a part of this in the past. We've got there's the Facebook page I just posted on their National Social Media Day, facebook.com National Social Media Day. There for you guys to take a look at it as well. Check it out. Get into it. Follow it because we'll be live streaming directly from that page in 2 weeks. Now, things I want to discuss with you guys today, one of the important things to me is what are you struggling with? Look, I know you've got an Instagram account. I know you've got a Facebook account. I know you've got a MailChimp or an Infusionsoft or some sort of CRM tool to help you drive traffic or to help you market. What are the things that you struggle with it? Is it just using it, scheduling it? Is it what do I say? What do I post? How often do I post? What's the best platform for what I'm doing? All right, whether it's Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever, Twitter. Some of you guys are probably still MySpace. Let's not talk about that. But anyway, what I'm trying to get at is the fact that there's so many opportunities, so many ways for doing it. There's, people are using Snapchat. I don't use Snapchat. It just doesn't work well for what I'm doing right now. Instagram, great visual, great on the video side, especially since Facebook purchased it. They got some new changes coming around. Getting more and more used to using that as well with the stories and things that are available with that. But what are the things that you guys are struggling with out there in your marketing? What are you struggling with? Is it just not posting? Is it not just it being a priority? What is it, everybody? What's the issue? Morning Glories. What are you struggling with when it comes to your marketing? Is it how to put everybody into kind of a funnel system for you? How to associate your leads the best, as far as where they come from and how to reach out to them? Is it you're listening versus listening to too many people versus acting? One of the things that I had to do was shut down some of the online stuff that I was watching on a daily basis. Look, I love Gary Vaynerchuk. I know there's plenty of people that listen to him on a daily basis, or they listen to Grant Cardone. I had to just remove those from my feed. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Grant Cardone. I think he's got some good stuff, but I also think he blows it out of the water a little bit. That's just my personal opinion. A little over the top. But I just had to turn it off because I had to focus on getting my stuff out. I had to focus on taking the time and using that hour that I was spending on it, not that wasting on it, but spending that time on that to go out there and use that hour to promote my own stuff, whether it was starting the Facebook Lives that we started, November 1st of 2016. And how that evolved into the podcast here, August 20th, 2017. What are the things that you struggle with? Is it the fact that you're struggling with, you see somebody on social media being negative, especially being so politically driven or bashing politics, which side of the coin you fall on, left or the right. And there's not really that much in the middle anymore. I think the people in the middle just don't say anything. So Laura, thank you for sharing. Laura Blunk says, I wrestle with interesting, informative content on a regular basis. Okay. Thank you for sharing. So one of the great things that we have seen from people is that they are sharing articles for the most part. I got my buddy Brian Ellis out of Atlanta, who for years has been sending a blog out or an email out with interesting articles. Basically, it's a email he gets out with like 4 different articles in it, and he basically puts a paragraph, his comment on each one with a link directly back to the article. All right. Now, Adam Adams, our good buddy Adam Adams, AJ Investments out of Dallas, slowed down a little bit on his post, but what he started originally doing was posting 2 articles a day to his Facebook page. 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon. And he would get that off of DS News, get that off of Housing Wire. It's hard to tell. I know I'm speaking to Laura right now and anybody else out there too. It's hard to tell with all of Facebook's algorithms, what we are seeing and what we aren't seeing. I know that some pages slow down. You don't see as many pages and stuff like that too, depending on what you post and how you interact with people. But I think that's one of the great things you can use. Using DS News, Housing Wire, Wall Street Journal, Investors Business Daily, IBD, those websites that provide articles that are interesting enough and sharing that to your page. Now, you also have done a great job recently talking about some of the deals you're working through. I think you just got 2 deals modified the other day. Great. You could go in and share content on each asset. Hey, here's an asset in this area. Don't give what you paid for it, but talk about the fact that, hey, we got it reperforming. Or they're making, now making 140% payment off their original payment. Doing some great stuff like that. That would be really good. Photos of the properties. I see so many people in real estate. They talk about, oh, hey, I bought a deal or I got it under contract. Great. You put a picture of the map where the 7 or 8 assets are, but there's no photos of the assets. There's no photos of the properties. But people want to see photos. That's why Instagram has done so well over the years. It's everybody's got a short-term mindset. All right. Very short-term mindset when it comes to what they're looking at, how fast they want to ingest that content. If it takes longer than 8 seconds to make a touch base with them, or grab their attention, you've missed them. They got swallowed up by the goldfish. Okay. Josh Cox this morning. Good morning, buddy. Josh says, content for my real target audience, investors, asset managers, and not just for my fellow real estate investor community. Okay. So this is what I would recommend, Josh, because that's I hear that all the time from a lot of note investors. I hear that from a lot of people I want to just have content for my investors and asset managers and not just for my real estate. Look, just throw them all in the same. Yes, you have probably your targeted list of asset managers for banks, and you probably don't want to put them on your regular email, but most of them are going to be on your Facebook page anyway. All right. And honestly, your asset managers, you really only need to reach out to them about once, maybe twice a month. And it doesn't have to be anything, hey, this is what we're looking for this month. This is what we're looking to do. Now, with your investors, I would just lump your investors in with your traditional real estate investors. Okay, your real estate investor community, because they're all associated together. So you don't really need to segregate investors from real estate community. Just lump them all in together and just talk about the deals you're working on, the deals that you and your dad are closing on, deals, the same stuff that you would do. Like I mentioned with just Laura a minute ago, taking the articles that are available online and even just sharing, hey, did you read this interesting article about interest rates going up and how it's going to affect housing? Or this article on Seattle or Portland or wherever, those are the most important things that you do. And it's just sharing. It doesn't have to be every hour on the hour, but at least trying to hit once a day, across different platforms, because people interact differently on different platforms. I think you need to be posting, obviously, on Facebook, and you have the Facebook groups. You can also do targeted stuff. Good morning out there, Greg. Hey, good morning, Greg. Greg 37. Good to see you. Hey, well, Greg, drop me an email at scott@weclosenotes.com and we connect that way, bud. All right. But that's the thing I tell you, just doing stuff on a regular basis. One of the great things that is going to happen is you just have to build consistency, everybody. And I think that's one of the most difficult things that people struggle with, like Laura mentioned, Josh mentioned. I see this from other people. What do I share on a regular basis? Just share what's going on. If you're looking at assets, share that, hey, you're breaking down a tape, and here's a picture of an asset or two. Pictures are worth 1,000 words. They're also worth 1,000 views a lot of times. Anytime you can post a decent quality photo with a little bit about it, or a video, you're going to get more views than just posting something in text. We as Homo sapiens with our 2 eyes are a fickle bunch. If it doesn't attract their eyes, it's probably not going to make sense. So that's why you see more and more images of people being catchy versus just flat out. I mean, you could put a picture of a house up, but if you put a picture of a house up with a person in front of it, or a girl in front of it, or a guy in front of it, or whatever, you're going to get more hits. It just works that way. Okay. Greg, I wouldn't, if I'm pretty tied up, but if you're wanting to connect, I would suggest you drop me an email immediately. Don't do it the next few days, bud. People say I'm the GOAT. That's funny. I'm not the greatest of all time. All right. Appreciate it. But that's, taking that back. You also have a lot of stuff coming in and you're like, oh, overwhelmed. What do I say? What do I use? What don't I use? Look, your audience is different from my audience. Yes, there's some crossover. Yes, our tribes will intermingle and things, but there are people that will be attracted to what you say better than if I say it. Okay. You just have to realize you have interesting things to say. We're all going through different things. We're all doing different deals. We're all experiencing, and as my buddy Brett Berkey just mentioned here, we're all living our own documentary. And Brett, I don't know if you can time that any better, but Brett Berkey here from paperstack.com, my buddy over in Orlando. Make your life a documentary. People love to see the process and behind the scenes, the real deal stuff. Yes, as you are. I was, I'll give you an example. This morning in bed, before I get up, jump in the shower, before I came here this morning, I was just flipping through, and there was an article on USA Today about Christina Aguilera posing for Paper, the magazine, with no makeup on. Oh my gosh. Somebody uses a lot of makeup, posed, took a photo shoot with no makeup on. Okay. Well, it's selling off the hotkeys. People are reading it and they're downloading it and clicking on it and all that stuff because it's real life. It's real stuff. You don't have to be a Christina Aguilera fan to appreciate that. All right. I think a lot of people are, great. That's awesome. Yes, it's great when you have a celebrity like that in the front of your newspaper, but you all have to realize this. If you're in real estate today, or actually not really just real estate, if you're in business today, if you're doing anything online, you run your own media company, you run your own marketing company. All right. You are responsible for putting out content to get your word out. If you're not posting stuff on a regular basis, if you're not doing things on a regular basis to your audience, doing stuff online, you are getting steamrolled by the competition. Somebody is going to fill in and take that crumb because we're all vying for crumbs. Look, we're not the Time Warners, we're not the AT&Ts, we're not the Verizons, we're not the Fox News, we're not the MSNBCs, the CNNs, we're not those things. They're not the HBOs, the Showtimes, the A&E TVs. You're not that stuff. But more and more in these days, more and more people are looking for real world. That's why reality TV has done so well. That's why you have Facebook investing millions of dollars, not billions of dollars. All these live streams, Netflix, Hulu, YouTube right now, investing millions and billions of dollars into their native shows, their own live stream that you only get on their channels to drive people to their audience. I mean, drive people to them as their new audience, expanding audience. So that's one of the things to keep up. Now, going back, I'm going to bring this up like Laura, Josh, Brett. Brett, we'll start first with you, buddy. Brett works for PaperStack. You guys buy a lot of assets. You guys are really shooting yourself in the foot by not talking about the case studies. All right. By not showing, hey, here's the deals, here's the case studies. I know that you and Rick and TJ have a big passion for helping people. We'll talk about the case studies. Talk about what you're doing with those investors, those borrowers. Talk about how you're helping that borrower out. That's a great thing. That's a really great thing. And by the way, your guys' episode from Note Camp is on iTunes on the Note Camp podcast. Excited, our Note Camp podcast that just went over like 6,000 downloads, which is kind of crazy for it being a one-time event over 4 days. I'll take the 6,000 downloads. That's awesome. But sharing what's going on. Christina Fuller here, sharing something. On my way to a little meeting with a fellow note investor here in town and someone brand new to it. So listening on the way. Awesome. So one of the great things that I would be doing, Christina, you're probably going to do this, is taking a picture of you guys there, the three of you, the four of you, or whoever's there in a group, and posting, hey, here's who this is, tagging people in it, sharing it across your platforms, leveraging other people's audiences that may have something in common with you. I would love it. It's one of the things that you see so many people out there on Facebook Lives and podcasts and things like that saying, hey, share this. They want to get the word out. And actually, if you have not shared this, please feel free to do so. Thank you, Stephanie, for sharing earlier on. But sharing this across your platform especially with something that you enjoy. Like, okay, Christine says, yes, awesome, good stuff. I know that you'll do that. Is it drives people, it adds value to your platform and also adds value to mine because it's great. Hey, you shared it. Great. Thank you so much for sharing. It adds value. Josh Cox comes back. I love the case studies. Good repeated call out. Yeah, I would totally do that. I mean, your dad has got plenty of case studies. I've been on him for months to talk more about his case studies, especially on his Friday. Your dad does a great job with his Friday stroll. Just do something like that. Do the case study Friday, funding Friday, case study Friday, something like that. Same thing with you guys at PaperStack. Brett says, so yeah, I know we need to do more of that. Knowing is the first part. Yeah, knowing is the first step in a 12-step process. Admitting that you have a problem. All right. Doing it on a regular basis, and that's what it comes down to. More than anything else, when you're delivering content or you're trying to drive a message home or expand your audience or to share what you're trying to share, it's all about consistency. All about consistency. I learned that pretty much really quite a bit over the last year and a half. We had a really good system set up here with our social media team. Had to let her go. And it's been a little bit, I've been running most of social media the last 4 or 5 months, doing well for the most part. But when you take time off, like we went to Hawaii for a week, and then we took 3 weeks off to go to Europe just recently. Some of the stuff dropped off. That's why I was very, very cognizant of traffic and things like that, especially on the podcast. Good morning, Donna Wilson, joining us online from Kansas City. That's why I did not want to drop the ball over the last 3 weeks. That's why I took it upon myself. I'm like, listen, hey, let me take my ego out of it, and we get some other people on here to help carry the torch, to make some things happen. And I was really excited that the 8 people really did a great job to be a part of it. They did a great job of their show. Now, don't get me wrong, they had technical issues. It's going to happen. You're going to have technical issues on anything that you do on a regular basis. You're just going to get better at it. Sometimes the episodes got shared, sometimes it didn't. I was okay with that. As long as the episode got recorded, that was the most important thing, because over half of them got live streamed, which is great. All of them got recorded, which is great. So I can upload those in videos to YouTube and Vimeo. I can then also take them, and those could be episodes that people don't get on Facebook. They'll have to go then straight to iTunes to watch those. So there's some great opportunity across the board when you have a little bit of a guest host or you throw a surprise. And that's why you see sometimes companies giving over their social media pages for hours or days sometime to guest experts or celebrities or other people to drive traffic their way to make things happen. Okay. You look at, I was watching something, there was a documentary on Netflix a few weeks ago about child stars and stuff like that. I was flipping through the channel, I don't remember what it was. It talked about the Olsen twins. It was a Full House thing or something like that. And talking about the twins. And they talk about how they don't really have social media profiles. The only time they've been prevalent on social media is when they took over the social media page for a day or something like that. They posted some photos there, and it just blew up because there's a scarcity aspect of what they do. You have two things. You can either be scarcity or you can be in abundance. And I think it's better being abundance. Scarcity is great if you've already had a notoriety, you've got a name for yourself, you are your own celebrity, maybe just in your own mind, who knows. What I'm trying to get at is, as long as you're sharing on a consistent basis, people will start looking for it. I was amazed at the amount of emails and messages I got when I got back on Tuesday. People like, hey, great, we missed you. Great job with everybody out there. Did a great your guest host, but we missed you. I guess my personality helps out with that. The fact that I am who I am now. I'm not everybody's favorite cup of tea or cup of coffee, I tell you that. Some people get upset, and that's fine. Hey, you don't have to listen to me. I won't take offense. We don't have to be friends. I don't need to say, why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? I don't need to be friends with everybody. Okay. I don't want to be friends with everybody. Okay. But it's sometimes when you bring on other people, or like Laura says, yeah, substitute teachers did a good job. You learn more with a different voice or different face. Brett says, I think Gail Greenberg could have a role in comedy. She cracked me up. Yes, Gail did a great job. Gail's down in Birmingham. driving by assets, talking with borrowers, stuff like that, which is great. I like what I like most is what Brett liked the most is that he said, I thought that you did with the 8 guests was awesome and really showcased your journeys. I wanted to share different stories along the way. And that's what I think we did great with Patty, Bill, Gail, Eric, Chris, and Katie. We've got a commercial architecture at Chris Savigny who does great stuff. Commercial investor, does some big projects. You have Bill Griesmeyer, guy, physical therapist, and an avid bicyclist. Okay, Katie Moton, retired school teacher and spouse to a military guy. Gail Greenberg, done some writing and done some interviewing in the past, and done some great stuff there, but also very passionate heart for what she's done. Eric Hyde, current police officer, been shot once or twice. All right, and doing some great stuff. You've got Patty Ped, who's international over here, doing some great things and still working full time. You blend all that in. Gail Villanova, ex rocket scientist on there, and realtor and stuff like that. Cody Cox, who joined us one time, very active still as a mortgage banker in Oregon, but doing some great stuff. I love that their different personalities and their different backgrounds add value to wherever they're going. And I think that's the most thing. I don't think you see a lot of people, especially on shows, that they're very hesitant to just bring on people. And I was kind of hesitant to just let anybody come on. But that's why I reached out to these 8 people, said, hey, are you interested to be on? And they all said, yes, they'd be too. Some were a little bit limited, which is totally fine. We tried to make it work. And I was glad we got all 8 of them on for at least one episode. But that's the thing you got to think about. What are you doing? What is your message? How consistently are you sharing? How are you sharing across the board? I had a great conversation yesterday with my buddy Ryan Harper from Propelio out of Dallas talking about online marketing. They did an online event, or they did an event in Dallas recently, 700 plus RSVPs, 400 plus showed up, free event, free networking event. It's great. We're talking about it. And he was talking about how, and they do daily, Facebook live streams with their software, which is great. Different speakers. I've been on there before. But how they drove most of that, their audience came mostly from Facebook versus emails. And they don't have, they've got 4,400, I think, people that follow them on their Facebook page, which is great. That's a huge, huge win for them compared to other real estate softwares or other companies that use Facebook or use a few live streams, but they don't market directly for events. They still use the emails or the direct mail aspect or radio. That's not always the most effective aspect of things. You just got to realize that, hey, whether you like it or not, the world is evolving, everybody. And that would be that's my biggest drive here in 2 weeks with National Social Media Day, is trying to help you all evolve, okay? Helping you all take those next steps, whether it's one step at a time. I look at what George Crocker did originally when he was getting rock and rolling about doing a video where he printed out a piece of paper and filmed that from a chair talking about a case study, which is great. He did something. All right. You got to get back to that, George, if you want to get to where you want to be eventually. Yep. Ryan Harper is great. Christina Flores says, yep, our brokerage sponsors their events all over Texas. Yep, exactly. And now that I'm back, you'll see us speaking and sponsoring some of those events as well over the next few months. So, look, guys, if you guys could do me one huge favor, what I would ask for all of you to do is go in, check out National Social Media National Social Media Day, the Facebook page. Click on it, like it, click on it to follow it. We'll be updating that stuff. All right. With updates, we live streaming to that. There's a lot of opportunity for you guys to learn. You don't have to join us for the full 27 hours. I think that would be maddening. Speaking on a Saturday, some of you won't be sleeping. I'll be drinking a lot probably of Red Bulls and coffee. But we're excited about it and really want to help you guys. So what are the things? I thank all of you guys that shared, the Josh, Laura, Brett. I know there's more people out there, though. What are the things that you're struggling with your marketing that you really need help with? Besides sharing on regular content or finding content, what are the things? Are you scared to be in front of the camera? Are you scared that you don't want to be the focal point? You're scared of, I have to put my makeup on before I get on. I put my makeup on this morning. shaving gel. Whoop, done. Good stuff, everybody. Good stuff. So, well, guys, if you and gals, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching as always. Like I say, we're excited. National Social Media Day, 2 weeks out from tomorrow or from midnight tonight. Kicks off Saturday, Saturday, June 30th at midnight. And we'll run midnight East Coast and run until midnight Pacific Coast time that day. So 27 hours live stream. Check us out, National Social Media Day as well. I'll post it in here so you guys can see it as well. Facebook.com/National Social Media Day. Okay. Oh, okay. So Christina, thank you for sharing. She says, getting out my email and video, not my strong point. Look, I get this. And I hear that same thing from everybody, Christina. Oh, I'll get my email. Look, you just have to schedule it. All right. I'm sure that you have a schedule that you follow by. If you've got to be somewhere, if you've got to make an appointment somewhere, you put it in your appointment book and you go, right? Like you're right now, you're going to have an appointment, right? Well, what everybody needs to do if they're having struggles about getting an email out is make an appointment with themselves. Literally put it in time block, your schedule, to write your email and get it out. Just do it. Put it in your schedule. Okay? There's no excuse for it. That's the easiest thing that you can do. Make an hour appointment with yourself every Saturday or Sunday or Friday, whatever the lull time is for everything else, but make an appointment with yourself to get it out. Okay? And video, not my strong point. Look, video is never anybody's strong point until they actually start doing it. Hashtag embrace the suck, everybody. Hashtag embrace the suck. One of the most important things you can realize is you're going to suck at it until you do it. You're not going to hit 100% until you've done it for a month or so, or 4 or 5 times. Embrace the suck, get it out, get it scheduled, and just do it. Trust me, do a little video from where you're at today in the appointment. Doesn't have to be long, it can be 2 minutes long, Christina. I challenge you to do that. Do a Facebook Live straight from your phone. It's not difficult. You don't have to use high-tech technology. Facebook Live, here's what we're talking about. Boom, video, you're live online. Here's what we're doing. Here's what we talked about. Could be a 30-second to 1-minute review of what you guys discussed and what you went over for your meeting. So that's one of the easiest ways to get started. That's what I started doing, was those daily Facebook Lives to challenge myself to be on camera every day, communicate with my tribe, get the content out. Some of those were 8 minutes long, some were short, some were an hour long, depending on the day. Okay. And that's what it evolved into the Note Closure Show podcast. So go out there, be a trooper, get it done, just do it. And trust me, the more times you fail, the faster you'll find success. And with that, we'll see you all at the top, everybody. Bye. Have a great day. Embrace the suck. That's right, Brett. Keeping that saying. Hey, I didn't start. I think the Army has that. Hashtag embrace the suck is what I see on some of their stuff. So go get it done, bud.